Hey everyone, this is DJ,
And this is Ish.
and this is
Season 7 of Pero Let Me Tell You. Oye, mi gente. Now, on this show, one of the things we love to bring on is legends and icons. And today we have somebody who's both of those. We have with us Latin Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award winner. She's got a star on the Walk of Fame. She is the epitome of iconic. We have with us the queen of percussion. I'm going to go ahead and say La Reina de los Timbales, Sheila E. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, again, thank you so much for joining us, Sheila. It's an immense, not just pleasure, honor to have you on our show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So, all right, you've got an album coming out April 5th called Bailar, and I cannot believe, as fantastic as your career is, that this is your first salsa album. How is that possible?
I know it was a shock to me that I hadn't done it either. Um, it, this was a long time coming though. It was on my bucket list. And then, I forgot about it. Five or 2015, 16, I decided I wanted to do it sooner than later. But it took this amount of time to get it together. And it was time. It took a couple years to make this happen, but I'm just really glad finally that it's happening and really showing the people another side of me that I think they did not know.
Oh, I think they knew it was there. It was bubbling underneath the surface. So the first single off of this is, I'm a Cuban American, so it's like, again, icons with icons. Bemba Colorá, Celia Cruz. How did that come about? Like, what was the thought in your mind that's like, this is what I'm going to tackle?
I wanted to do a tribute. I could have done an entire album of tribute songs. There were so many artists that I grew up listening to that inspired me so much. And Celia Cruz was just amazing. She was an amazing woman. She was strong, passionate. She was graceful. She commanded a room when she walked in. But she's very humbled and but yet strong. And I admired, her life and what it took for her to come to this country to pursue her career. She was just an amazing artist. And listening to this song for so many years growing up, like it was one of my favorite songs. And I knew that if I ever did a salsa record, that this would be the song that I would do. And I also wanted to, put a little twist on it. And so the beginning of the song playing a little conga, a little rumba in the intro, and then also, halfway through when Celia goes into the halftime, I wanted to play a drum solo and play drums. And I had asked, hey, I don't think I've heard anyone play drums on Bemba Colorá. And everyone's like, no, doesn't even sound right, but no. And I said, well, I want to be the first woman to play a drum solo on Bemba Colorá. So that was the little twist that we put on it. And I just love this song.
Yeah, I have to say, having heard the song, those people who said you can't do it, they were wrong. Because not only can you do it, you can do it phenomenally. Like, now that I've heard it, it's like, how has that not always been there?
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So, you were able to work again with the Queen of Miami, Gloria Estefan, on this
Yes.
song, who you worked with on Mi Tierra. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And you're going to be playing down here in my neck of the woods in April 3rd, I believe, at the Fillmore.
Yes.
How did that
Yes.
go out? Because, it's being billed as a concert, but frankly, I've looked at the lineup. It's more of a pachanga than a concert.
Well, the thing is I was trying to figure out a way to do an album release instead of, a listening party. I was like, we all talked about it. Let's just do a live concert, and try to have as many artists from the album play with me that night. So that is the opening, the showcase of the actual album coming out, the release of the album on the 5th. So April 3rd, we are playing the Fillmore in Miami Beach. Gloria Estefan will be there singing. Mimi Succar, Tony Succar, my dad, Pete Escovedo, Debbie Nova, Jean Rodriguez. Um, Geez, I can't even remember everyone. Uh, yeah, the list goes on, but we're trying to get as many people as we can. And a lot of the musicians who actually played on this album, a lot of them are from Miami area. But it's going to be an amazing night. I hope that people go on to Live Nation and get their tickets because we're going to play the album from top to bottom, every single song. And and this will be the first time us ever playing together. So I've not performed any of this music live. This will be the first time.
Okay, well, don't tempt me with a good time because I love. I've said this for the longest time. Like I miss like just a really good classic salsa album, which even with a little bit of a twist and a new angle to it. I feel like I haven't heard one in a while. And based off of Bemba Colorada, I feel like this is going to be that. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Oh, you're gonna love the record. It's amazing. I mean, put your dancing shoes on. It's a really good record, I have to say. And all of the artists that had come on to sing or perform with me, I have Ruben Blades, Victor Manuel, Gilberto Santa Rosa, Luis Enrique, El Canario,
Good
Jean
group.
Rodriguez.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Mimi Succar, Tony Succar, my mom. I have everyone on the record.
I have to check. Maybe I'm on the record. That's a lot. Like everyone's on that
Yeah,
record.
you could be.
Right? So, you've had such a fantastic career and I don't think it's hyperbole to say that you are, if not the one of the most prominent female percussionists in history. I mean, as far as recorded history, at least, right?
Oh, thank you.
You've played with, I mean, you played with Phil Collins, you've played with Cyndi Lauper, with Ringo, Beyonce, Prince. I mean, the list goes on, right? But I
Right.
have to assume your favorite person to play with is probably your dad because you grew up in a musical family. What's that
Exactly.
like?
Oh, incredible. There's no one can touch playing with, being able to play with your father on stage and the music that either you have both created or it's just incredible. I mean, to be able to play with my dad. And most of the time when I do play with him, my other two brothers also play in the band as well. So to have the whole family playing together is just amazing. It's the best feeling ever, and no one can match that feeling other than my dad.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's just, was that him in the video playing domino?
No, he was in the Tito Puente video that I released months ago. He was in that
Oh,
video
okay.
with Gilberto Santa Rosa.
Oh, okay. That was him. Just because I think at the beginning when you're playing dominoes, you say something like, okay, Poppy. So I was like, oh, maybe that's her dad.
Yeah, no, my dad wasn't there, and what I wanted to do. I know people were asking me that, and I called Tony Succar. I said, "Where's Papa Succar?" And he said, "He's in Peru." And I said, "Peru?" And I said, "I'm going to film tomorrow. I want him to be in the video." He goes, "Oh, he's coming home early in the morning." So at 5 a.m. when he flew in from Peru, he came right to Little Havana to meet me. He was exhausted, and I just love him. He's such a sweetheart and a humble man. And I said, you have to be in the video, Papa Sucar. So that's why I called him
I love
that.
it. I hope he gets billing as Papa Sucard.
Because that's a great
Yes,
name.
it is.
So, this year, celebrating the anniversary of We Are the World, and you were part of that. I mean, we've seen the documentary at this point, but what can you remember from that moment that, you've probably said this a few times, but, such an iconic moment in music history, and you were there, girl. I mean, how was that feeling looking back?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, for me, it was probably one of the biggest things I had ever done next to that night earlier on was to play the American Music Awards.
Hmm.
That was my first time playing the show as a solo artist as Sheila E. So it was huge for me to play the show and then go next door and be a part of something that was, we knew that we were going to go there and raise money, for the people and
Right.
stuff, but we didn't really understand how intense it was until they had the opportunity to sit and speak with us and really tell us and the reality of that, setting in and why we were there was just incredible. It was amazing.
Yeah, I can imagine. As we wrap up now, because I know you've got a full day of press ahead of you, and I thank you again for taking time to talk about your salsa album Bailar. You are the only guest we've ever had who has had a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. What was that like, getting that star last year in July?
Geez, it was incredible. It really was humbling and very emotional. Um, what's interesting was I had moved to Los Angeles in 1980, and I said I want to come to Los Angeles to pursue my career in the music business. And it was literally blocks away. I'd say 10 or so blocks, maybe more blocks away from the Star. That was the first place that I moved, a little apartment down the street, and then realizing, man, I turned around and I pointed to it like, this is where, I first moved here, not realizing that one day I would have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It was incredible.
Well, listen, talent brings on success, and you've got both of them. And I thank you again so much for taking time to chat with us. Again, listeners, the album is called Bailar. It comes out April 5th. For our Miami primos who are down here, April 3rd at the Fillmore Miami, you can go see Sheila E. That's more than enough, but then you get a whole slew of just guest stars for what has to be like probably the biggest party that is happening on Miami Beach so far this year.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Thank you again so much, Sheila. It's been a pleasure and an honor, and I don't say that lightly.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope to see you at the show.
Well, I mean, I'm on my way. I already had my dancing shoes on since like 2 weeks ago.
There you go.
Pero Let Me Tell You is co-hosted by Darian Borges and Ismaeliano, produced by Ismaeliano, and our theme, Pero Let Me Tell You Freestyle, is composed by Michael Angelo Lomlaplex, the official gay guy. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes.